this is it's the biggest event in cycling. It's the biggest event on the continent of Africa in cycling. It's the first time on the continent of Africa after 120 something years, 125. So it means that, yes, me as the president of the Federation of Cycling in Rwanda.
For more than 100 years, the UCI Road World Championships have gone around the world. Riders have raced on Europe's hard cobblestones, Australia's hot roads, and the tall mountains of North America and Asia. But in 2025, something very different will happen. The rainbow jersey is heading to a place it has never been before, and this could change cycling forever. Since the first race in 1921, the championships have visited many countries but never one continent. That will finally change in September 2025. Morocco tried to win the chance to host, but the honor went to Rwanda. The choice was announced in Belgium back in 2021, starting a brand new chapter. Rwanda is already known for the Tour de Rwanda, a famous bike race in Africa. But now, it will welcome the biggest and hardest cycling challenge of them all. Kigali is nicknamed the Land of 1,000 Hills, and that's no exaggeration. The capital sits at 1,850 meters above sea level, and riders will feel every meter of that thin air. The men's road race will stretch 268 kilometers with 5,475 meters of climbing. That's tougher than Colombia's 1995 Climbing Worlds and Innsbruck's brutal 2018 edition. The women's peloton won't have it much easier, with 3,350 meters of elevation in 165 kilometers. Signature features include the Mur du Kigali, a steep ascent, and the Côte de Kimihurura, a cobbled climb that rattles riders to the core. Add in Mont Kigali and the Côte de Kigali, and you've got a circuit favoring only the strongest climbers. Insiders already say this could be the hardest road worlds ever staged. Because of the terrain, the 2025 Worlds are designed for climbers. Tadej Pogačar, fresh off dominating Grand Tours, will be licking his lips. Remco Evenepoel, known for his resilience, will be a contender. Demi Vollering, the Dutch climbing queen, and Chloe Dijkert, the American powerhouse, will be riders to watch. And while all-rounders like Mathieu van der Poel and Wout van Aert may struggle, their talent means they can never be counted out. For Team USA, Quinn Simmons, national champion, will lead the men, while Olympic medalist Chloe Dijkert will target both the time trial and road race. Rising stars like Ella Sabo in the U23 women's field and Ashlyn Berry in the juniors add youthful energy to the squad. One of the most significant changes in Kigali is the debut of a standalone women's under-23 road race. While world titles have been awarded since 2022, those races were previously run alongside the elite women. Now, for the first time, U23 women will have their own spotlight. This gives young riders visibility and a clear pathway toward elite competition, a symbolic and practical step toward greater equality. Kigali will also mark the debut of GPS tracking devices for every rider. This system, part of the UCI's Safe R program, was first tested at the Tour de Romandie Féminin. Each rider will carry a tracker, allowing race control and medical teams to pinpoint their location instantly. This change comes after tragedy in 2024, when junior rider Muriel Furrer died following a crash in Zurich. She was left unattended for nearly an hour and a half after suffering a head injury. Race radios are not permitted at Worlds, and Kigali 2025 aims to ensure no rider is ever left waiting for aid again. Rwanda's hosting has not been without controversy. Critics accuse the country of sportswashing, using high-profile events to polish its image while facing accusations of supporting rebel groups in neighboring Congo. Western governments, including the EU and the United States, have sanctioned Rwandan officials for their alleged role in the conflict. UCI President David Lapartient has dismissed calls to move the event, insisting sport should not be a sanctioning tool. Rwanda denies the allegations, calling them a smear campaign. Regardless, the Worlds will go ahead, and the event is certain to draw both fans and protesters. Beyond the controversy, Kigali 2025 represents something bigger: the globalization of professional cycling. For decades, the sport has been dominated by Europe, with occasional forays into other continents. But Africa is now firmly on the map. The UCI's Africa 2025 strategy has invested in developing talent through its World Cycling Center satellite in South Africa, preparing a new generation of riders. Eritrea, Ethiopia, South Africa, and Rwanda have already produced international talent. The Worlds in Kigali could be the spark that ignites a new wave of African stars. For young African cyclists, the chance to compete on home soil is more than symbolic, it's life-changing. Local riders who once watched from afar will now be part of the action, and the visibility of the event could inspire thousands more to pick up the sport. Cycling fans in Rwanda are known for their passion. The Tour de Rwanda regularly draws massive roadside crowds, with locals packing the climbs and cheering until their voices give out. That energy is expected to be magnified when the rainbow jersey is on the line. Organizers predict one of the largest ever audiences for a World Championships, both in person and on television. Global broadcasters are preparing extensive coverage, and African fans will finally see their continent take center stage. It's not just the road races that will test riders. The time trials in Kigali are equally brutal. The men's 40.6-kilometer course includes 4 categorized climbs, totaling 680 meters of elevation. The women's 31.2-kilometer race will rack up 460 meters. Forget flat power tests. These are climbing time trials, favoring versatile riders over pure specialists. Riders like Filippo Ganna and Marlon Reusser, normally dominant, may find the terrain a nightmare. All-rounders who can climb as well as they can pace themselves will have the edge. As always, the Worlds are not just about racing, they're also about business. Sportsbooks are already setting odds, with platforms like OddsChecker comparing offers from operators such as Caesars. Fans can bet on individual stages or the overall winner, and the Kigali course's unpredictability is likely to make for high-stakes wagers. Hosting the Worlds is part of a larger sporting strategy for Rwanda. The country has invested heavily in global partnerships, sponsoring European soccer giants like Arsenal, Paris Saint-Germain, and Bayern Munich with the Visit Rwanda brand. Rwanda has also hosted NBA games through the Basketball Africa League and is rumored to be pursuing a Formula One race. Critics may call it sportswashing, but for Rwanda's leaders, it's a calculated investment in global visibility and tourism. The 2025 UCI Road World Championships in Kigali will not simply crown champions, it will reshape cycling. The race will test the limits of the world's best riders, highlight new talent, and bring global attention to Africa's cycling scene. It will also spark debate about the intersection of sport and politics, forcing the cycling world to confront uncomfortable questions, even as it celebrates new horizons. If Kigali delivers the spectacle it promises, cycling's future will look very different. The days of the sport being confined to Europe's old roads may be over. 1,000 hills, 1,000 challenges, and perhaps 1,000 new dreams await in Rwanda.